What's a life hack that saved you money I can carry into the new year? Story 1. When I was younger and broke, I tried this and it worked really well. Write down everything you spend, like everything, not an estimate exactly what you spend and on what. At the end of the week check it out. You'll likely notice a lot of money going to stuff you don't care about. Then cut that out. Story 2. Get used to and enjoy engaging with being bored. I finally dug into this one in 2023. You would be shocked how much money you spend simply because you are bored and looking for a stim fix. It helps to have activities, so I will give a short list of some ideas. Meditation. This is a big gun. If you cannot relax your breathing, your limbic system cannot regulate. If your limbic system cannot regulate, your body cannot detention. If you cannot detention, you will be stuck in fight, flight, freeze, fawn and be biologically compelled to go out and hunt for survival. Yoga. Stretching, laying down and doing body scans while processing your day-week situation, looking in the mirror and engaging in positive self-talk. Reframing, drawing, journaling, learning, making music, testing new recipes, holding one you love, rewatch old shows from your childhood, catch up on new ones. Clean. You will be surprised what clutter does to the brain. Calling up old friends or family to chat, taking a walk, going for a run or lifting weights, adding the you would buy to your online cart but stopping short of buying. When you are flush with cash on next payday, reevaluate your selections. Catch up on sleep, build new outfits, clean some more. Let's be real, the first time we rushed it and cut corners. Learn to masturbate without surprise. This one is among the healthiest things we can do for self-image and relaxation. Call your parents if you have them and start asking them to tell you about X when they were young. Stories are great for passing time. Sit in the sun, wear sunscreen. The list goes on. Point is, solitude and loneliness are two sides of the same coin. If you are feeling one, you can feel the other. Get good with being bored and you will see the bank account creep up every pay period. When you are ready, start to budget the excess for real. Story 3. I recently found the app Supercook. You fill in all the ingredients in your fridge pantry and it'll generate recipes you can make with whatever you already have, and will also show recipes with 1 to 2 ingredients you are missing. It's made me a lot more creative in the kitchen, given me a lot more ideas on how to best use what I have without starting from scratch every week. My weekly shopping trips have been a lot cheaper. Story 4. Do mini exercises when cooking, boiling a kettle, etc. 10 knee bends, 10 countertop push-ups, 10 leg raises, 10 side-to-side upper body twists. Only small but will keep you more supple, really doesn't take any time and becomes a habit in no time. Story 5. Vacuum sealer for food. I buy discount meat or bananas or such food close to expiring, vacuum seal it and freeze it. Same with leftovers. Separate them in portions and freeze them so I have a quick lunch when I don't have time to cook. Amazing how much I stopped wasting food and thus saving since I started doing that. Story 6. Putting my condiments in the bottom containers of my fridge and my veggies in the door so I can constantly see them. I have aged and now none of my veggies go bad because I can see them all and I don't forget they exist. Story 7. Batch cooking during the weekend for weekday meals. Then take lunch to work, mix and match meals to have variety during the week. Benefits 1. You know what you're eating. Ingredients 2. Portion control 3. Save all the money spent on takeaway and tipping 4. You'll never go hungry at home, as there's always something to eat. 5. Be healthy and lose weight. C.1 and 2. 6. Make the weekend batch cooking a fun family activity. Story 8. I put thermal curtains in the doorways of all the rooms in my old house. I don't have central heat or AC, so I heat and cool the rooms I'm in. It saved me $150 a month on my power bill. Story 9. There are fixed costs, and then there are fungible costs. Have a look at your fixed costs. Do you need a cable subscription? Could you get by a lighter cell plan or slower internet? Is downsizing your living space an option? Then there's your fungible costs, which are easier to let get out of control if you don't pay attention. Eating out, new clothes, toiletries, household goods, etc. can balloon out of proportion if you don't pay attention, but neither should you budget zero for then or you'll crash and burn. Story 10. Stop all your subscriptions. Seriously, you don't need them all. There are many ways to find free music, films, etc. on the net. You don't need Prime either. Find the goods you want and then get them with free postage from eBay. Who cares if it takes a few more days to be delivered? Story 11. Learn to cook a handful of cheap meals. Cooking at home can absolutely be expensive if you're buying saffron and ribeyes every day, but there's tons of inexpensive foods out there, and they're usually traditional foods. They can be made cheap with mixes and pre-made whatever, but they're even cheaper from scratch. Hey, race a list of stuff off the top of my head. Soups and stews: chili, beef stew, minestrone, bean stew. Dude, anything can be a soup, just season it well. Pasta and red sauce with meat or without red beans and rice. Stir fry and fried rice are great at using up leftovers. Tacos with refried beans and Spanish rice. Roast chicken and potatoes and other vegetables. Egg, tuna, shrimp salad. Enchiladas, frittatas will let you use up any veg that is in your fridge. Biscuits and gravy. Actually, now that I think about it, learning to make biscuits from scratch will basically unlock a whole level of stuff like scones, basically biscuits with sugar and dried fruit, or chalk chips and pie crust. And who doesn't love a chicken pot pie? You can figure out how to cook these dishes by watching YouTube videos, and if there's anyone who needs help with this, reach out. I can answer any questions, either here or DM, or reach out to your relatives, neighbors, or we. Hi auntie, I remember you cooking mushrooms and rice and chicken. Can you teach me how to make that? Story 12. Whenever you have this uncontrollable urge to buy online, add those things to cart, see the cost of total items. Your urge will likely come down, If not, tell yourself you will order it the next day. The next day you will probably forget. You will save all those money. Learn to cook along with playing songs and make it an act of unwinding or stress relief. It will save you money, plus it will make you feel relaxed. Tell to yourself that you will not buy anything new until the product you already own goes useless. Try using public transport. It will increase your physical activity and save you money. Story 13. Have a budget. Like a NAB, you need a budget. It's easy to use. They regularly make updates to the app. I totally think it's worth the money. I have saved thousands over the last decade budgeting my money. Story 14. Just stop eating out. Stop it entirely. Stop ordering in. Stop picking up coffee on the way to work. Stop picking up a snack if you're feeling hungry while out. Eating out, even if it's just small amounts, adds up big time. Story 15. If you use a credit card, pay it off every month. Look at how much you're spending on interest on rollover balances. That's money you could be spending instead of giving away. If you can't pay it off, spend less. If you can't because of emergencies one after another, find help. Don't put large amounts on credit cards that can't be paid off unless it actually is an emergency and nothing else you can do. Story 16. This sounds ridiculous, I'm sure, but I focus really hard on keeping my ego in check. It's the biggest reason I buy I don't need. Probably is the case for lots of folks. Raised to compete with everyone and everything only helps companies. Story 17. Take advantage of sales to bulk buy non-perishable stuff that you know will be used: laundry detergent, paper towels, etc. On the flip side, don't buy things just because they are on sale. Something my dad told me as a child that I still say to myself occasionally is it's not a great deal if you don't need it. Story 18. Buy non-branded medication. Buy in bulk. Mend instead of buying new. Limit snack foods and buy produce. Snack foods are taxed whereas produce is not. Story 19. If you have the space and willing to, grow your own food in season. Have a small homestead and greenhouse. We grow peppers, tomatoes, basil, lettuce, onions, potatoes, carrots, corn, beans, strawberries. We make jars upon jars of my grandpa's marinara sauce recipe. It lasts us all year. We also buy raw ingredients from the Amish: flour, sugar, yeast, salt, spices, and bake as much as we can. Learn to home cook and food prep for the week and watch how much you'll save. Story 20. Never buy a new car. Buy the best used car that you can afford to pay cash for, and drive and maintain it until the wheels fall off. If you purchase a home, don't buy more house than you need. Keeping up with the Joneses will keep you broke. I agree with the comment to follow Dave Ramsey until you are out of debt, but take that a step further and follow Clark Howard, Ramit Sethi, or someone similar after your debt is gone. Sound advice on investing and navigating financial pitfalls. We paid cash for our home, but it was before the craziness of this current market. If we had started this journey earlier, we'd be set for life. Instead, we are working harder to play catch up. Thankfully, we are debt-free, just not a lot for retirement. Happy saving. Story 21. Don't buy stuff you don't need. 2. Don't spend more than you earn. 3. Invest in your financial education. 4. Use said learning to put extra income to work for you. Story 22. Get a ledger. List each bill, the date paid and the amount. List them on a page. Titles Jan or July, whatever. Set up the online payment for that date. And when it leaves your account, draw one lee through it. Now you have a running plan for what gets paid when, so no late payments or paying out money not yet in account you planned. Also, if your checking account has $2,563.23 in it, transfer the $323 to savings. Honestly, I check my bank every night online and do this. I don't miss the $323, but it really adds up over time. If you can't afford that, just transfer the 23 cents. It adds up and you really won't miss that. I also have a jar for change in the house, and save it not spend it, but I rarely use cash anymore, so NBD. Story 23. Set up a serious ad blocker like Piehole at home. Stop letting advertisers creep into your brain to feed the I need the new thing monster when you're at home. Cancel your streaming subscriptions. Find other ways to watch things. Cancel Spotify. They are leeches. See tip 1 for continuing to stream music without ads. Your local library probably has a lot more than you realize. Mine has video games and tools. Wild. Story 24. Unique grandiose aware alleged edge snail safe cough chubby wrench. This post was mass deleted and anonymized with redact. Story 25. Remember future you, when you're doing something or buying something, give a thought to future you and see if they think it's a good idea. Depending on the decision, elderly you might be the future you that you need to consult with. Story 26. Anything that comes between you and the ground: mattress, sheets, pillows, shoes, tires, socks is worth a quality investment. It may cost more now, but if you can afford it, do so. Also, open a high-yield savings account now and make your savings, whatever amount, earn you more money. Story 27. Use budget apps like Mint or Every Dollar Counts. Track and budget everything, even the smallest amount. In your budget, have a savings goal and a debt reduction goal. 1. Save $500. 2. Pay off smallest debt. 3. Save $1,000. 4. Pay off all credit cards. 5. Save $10K. 6. Pay off car ECT. This is actually attainable for a lot of people, but most lack the discipline to accomplish. Story 28. However much you earn, spend less than that. Never pay credit card interest. Crazy place to borrow. Reduce impulse buying by setting a limit, e.g., if it's over then you must think about it for a day. Story 29. Paradox. I've realized lately buy higher quality products, even if they're more expensive, especially reputable brands. This is great because when you're done with them, they're sellable later on for a portion of the cost back, sometimes even making money, whereas buying mid-range cheap struggle to sell it all. Obviously gauge this per item, e.g. I bought a Herman Miller chair about 10 years ago for $900, sold it for $1,400 in good condition even when it was used, e.g. I can't sell a $70 used Kmart vacuum, but I can resell a functional Dyson V8 vacuum later for maybe half its original price. Just something to think about anyways. Story 30. Learn how to fix things. We live in a disposable society. A lot of stuff we pay other people to fix or just throw out and buy a new one. With a little bit of skill and some YouTube videos you can save yourself a ton of money. Story 31. I make large batches of rice. Then I put 1 cup servings into smallish plastic bags and freeze them. I flatten the bags as much as possible before freezing them so they don't take up too much space. I know it's the same amount of space technically if it's just a lump, but it's easier to fit if it's flat. Then if I need a side dish, I can just take one portion out and throw it in the microwave in a covered bowl with a small amount of water. Having a ready-made starch makes it easier not to order out. Story 32. Cooking ahead is a time, money and sanity saver for me. Making ingredients ahead like cooked rice, cooked pasta, shredded chicken, cooked ground meat, things I can throw a quick meal together with, are perfect for days when I don't feel like cooking. Even making cake layers or a batch of cookies and freezing them is handy when I need to put a dessert together quickly. Story 33. The library is an utterly underrated source of free entertainment. Most of movies you can borrow as well. Free games on Steam help too. When I'm meeting friends out and about, I never attend dinners, but I will eat at home beforehand and go out and meet for a drink or maybe an appetizer. That way I can socialize without breaking the bank. Story 34. Check your electricity plan. Search for cheaper options available. Also, in some places, the tariff varies by the hour. If so, then use timers for dishwasher washer dryer and let them run when power is cheapest. Switch devices off on the plug. Switch light sources to LED. And like others wrote, keep your expenses in tab, reduce unnecessary spendings, and put as much aside on high-interest accounts as possible. Story 35. Just stay out of stores and off Amazon. Always buying you don't really need. Don't look at all those influences saying you must have. Quit collecting things. I'm not an obsessed minimalist but have changed the way I live. Shop buy, have fewer things, better organized. Use it up, wear it out. CK Marketplace first for used things. Pick a style, a neutralish one for clothes or furniture, and stick with it. I'm 67 and all those things I bought for houses, APTs, pretty pillows, knickknacks, costume jewelry and then moved and shed and bought more and moved and shed. I'd be a millionaire on that alone if I'd throttled back and invested it. Story 36. Make a price book. The things you usually buy, put them in the book and write the price per unit, not overall price. Then again next time you shop, then in flyers, gradually you get to know what a good price for something is, and you can make rules like only buy Cheerios when they are less than 1 cent per gram. Story 37. Once you make your budget, get cash from the bank and fill separate envelopes for each item with cash. Can't go over budget once you run out of the cash. Story 38. Stop drinking coffee. Saved a fortune, sleep better, better gut health and never have the runs anymore. Not really a life hack but has a ton of benefits for me. Story 39. Buy what you can used, refurbished or curb shop for it. Utilized gift certificates in a least expected way. Cleaning supplies, toilet paper or charging cable in a hardware store. Try to cook at home, so you cut eating out. Even a little bit helps. Not only healthier, it will save money. Take a closer look at your eating habits. Drink more water over sodas or juice. Look for marked down items in your supermarket, close sale by or expiration date. Know the prices of thing you usually buy, and stock up if can be stored dry goods or freezable items. You can freeze pretty much everything. Don't diss small change. Make a jar and collect it at home. Make a budget. Priorities the money that comes into its basic skeleton: housing, food bills. If you have anything else left, there's no need to spend it. Story 40. Keep a selection of homemade comfort foods in your freezer for quick, delicious meals at home in a hurry. This keeps me out of the restaurants on busy days. Mac and cheese, preformed hamburger patties, buns, green beans, baked beans, casseroles, soups, chicken beef pre-cut for stir-fry along with bags of stir-fry veggies, pre-cooked rice. Story 41. There is an app called Upside where you save some money every time you fill up on gas. Super easy to do so. Once you get in routine, it becomes second nature, like opening your gas tank. Story 42. Sensor light bulbs. I have them in every room except bedroom and front room. They only come on when it's dark enough outside and neither myself or the kids are leaving lights on all the time now, hoping I notice the difference on the next electric bill. Story 43. I cut the cable cord years ago, and pay for one streaming service at a time. I'll cancel and change every quarter to catch up on new seasons of my favorite shows. Otherwise, I listen to podcasts for my entertainment. Our audio drama is a good source for recommendations. Story 44. Start having no spend days. Start with 1 day a week, then try to go for a streak where you spend no money. See if you can break your streak. It retrains your brain about money. We spend so much on little unnoticeable things. It really adds up. Drink water instead of Starbucks. Eat ramen instead of Ubering. Cook a nice dinner instead of going out. Story 45. When shopping, pay cash. It was proven that it is mentally painful for you if you pay in cash and see money leave your wallet. On the other hand, paying with card does not hurt, so it is easier for you to spend money that way. So if I set weekly bug debt, and withdraw like 80 in cash, I am less likely to blow it away in the first half of week. Also, all my monthly payments, mortgage, electricity, water are automated, so I just have to have enough money in my account and they leave on time. Story 46. Invest in a good vacuum sealer. You will save so much money in food loss, and so much time in food prep. Combine the vacuum sealer with a sous vide and you've hit culinary pay dirt. Story 47. 1. Analyze your statements for errors and interest rates. 2. Track your spending. 3. Consolidate debt and savagely pay it down. 4. Shop around for savings rates and points. 5. App points and savings. Download and print out every paperless bill at least once. Analyze and read each one. You may find errant extra charges. I found $70 a month being charged by my cell phone carrier that should not have been. Pay particular attention to your bank account and main credit card account and look for unknown or long unused monthly charges. I found an Adobe subscription one of my kids inadvertently signed up for and an Audible monthly charge that no one in the house wanted or used. Even better is to use a spending app or program. While they are often the same as the popular budgeting apps, I am highlighting the distinction between budgeting planning and effectively monitoring your spending. Make it a habit to look over all transactions regularly. I have used Quicken, Mint, a spreadsheet, and Fidelity over the years. It'll give Credit Karma a try when Mint goes away. If you are carrying debt, figure out your percentage rates and your monthly debt service. If you don't stay on top of this, you're going to find out that your credit cards jacked up your interest rate once you started carrying debt or missed a payment. It's good to do an overall assessment about now regardless, as so many different segments of the economy have drastic changes in interest rates like mortgage, credit card rates, IRS debt rates, etc. Figure out which is the lowest, and try to consolidate as much as you can. A few times over the years, I've played the credit card balance dance, signing up for new cards with introductory rates to consolidate the debt and try to aggressively pay them down. While 0% rate with no balance transfer fee is ideal, those are hard to find these days. But even so, a one-time free charge to transfer to a 6-month zero card will cost you less than $25 per month on a higher card. Focus on paying down the debt, not just moving it around. Shop around for best savings and checking interest rate. Lately, banks have stopped automatically moving existing customers to higher rates available to new customers. Check and ask, and don't be shy about moving around to a new bank. Same for credit cards. Find the best rewards program for you: cashback, gas savings, groceries, airline, etc., and use that card for all the spending you can and always pay it off. I love the Amex Blue Cashback and the Amazon Store card. Both give 5 cashback on some or all charges. We use the cashback every December to offset holiday spending. This last tip has some privacy and data concerns, but it's worth it to me. Use the apps for your regular spending: food, grocery, gas station, etc. Half off your coffee every day adds up, 10 off every gallon of gas adds up, and many will stack. We use our grocery store points to stack onto our gas station discount. Of course, walking is cheaper and coffee at home or not at all will save even more, but get the savings you can where you are first. 2 specific hacks I learned and love over the holidays. You can reset your Sirius XM car radio to dealership setting with an app which gives you a few introductory months free, and if you are a former Sprint customer that moved over to T-Mobile, check your bill for the 10-month line premium data charge. This was a legacy Sprint charge from back when 4G was new and apparently worthy of an add-on charge. TMO will remove this charge if you chat call. As mentioned above, this saved me $70 a month. Story 48. Buy anything you want in the off-season to save money. This includes clothing. Stay fit. You don't need to be Thor, but you need to be healthy. Bodyweight exercises like squats, push-ups, burpees, and pull-ups will get you fitter than most. No equipment needed, and you can get in great shape with 20-minute workouts 3 to 4 times a week. The money you save in the long run from lack of injuries and metabolic disease will literally change your life. Story 49. Follow Dave Ramsey. Not a huge fan of the Christianity stuff, but a lot of his advice resonated with me and my husband, helped motivate us to get out of debt in hyper-speed and in hyper-saving mode. Story 50. It really a hack, but I finally switched to store-bought cold brew and saved myself both time and money from having to go through the drive-thru every morning. Story 51. Get a digital antenna and drop the cable satellite Wi-Fi bill. Dish bill was $130 a month. I just bought a 50 rotating digital antenna and I get 394 channels all free. Story 52. Freeze food seems like a no-brainer, but it cuts waste big time. We do burgers, chuck roast, etc. I'll form the patties and freeze them and cook them in the air fryer from frozen, and they're perfectly fine, not wasted protein. Easy and filling lunch or dinner, and quick if you have small kids. Cooking roasts in big 2 to 3 pounds batches and then freeze portions. Microwave when ready and use for tacos, stir-fry sandwiches, whatever. This has been huge in not wasting food. Beans and rice as well. Story 53. Don't know if you live with many people or not, but I myself, wife, 2 kids saw an instant $100 per month drop in our electric bill when we stopped using the dryer and started using drying racks. We do have an electric dryer, so I don't know how much the savings would be if it were gas. We were doing 2 or 3 loads a week. I'd recommend giving that a try to see how much your electric bill goes down. You might be surprised. Story 54. Make coffee at home and have the expensive coffee shop coffee a once-a-week treat. Maybe do it Friday to celebrate the end of the work week or Monday to get you pumped for the start. Story 55. This is small but measuring and using recommended amounts for products. Example, bottle of my laundry detergent was 48 loads. but somehow every few months, I was running out despite 1 to 2 loads a week. It's worked for other products as well. Story 56. Don't go out to eat a lot. But if we do, we buy gift cards from Costco at a discount and then use them for happy hours or if the restaurant offers a coupon. Story 57. Call your car insurance company. Tell them you want to update your annual vehicle usage miles because you're driving a lot less after the pandemic and you're working from home. Set it as low as you can, under 5,000 miles to 1,000 miles per year. It could save you a couple $100. Story 58. Put a dry towel in the dryer with your wet laundry. It cuts the drying time in half. Also, use coupons at the grocery store, and buying the store brand is often as good or better than the national brand name items. Don't go cheap on TP or paper towels. You'll wind up using more and they end up costing more. I'm not sure what type of climate you live in, but you can save quite a bit on heating cooling if you stay at 68 or below in the winter and 78 or above in the summer. Only do full loads in the washer or dishwasher. Story 59. When talking to any kind of customer service support on the phone, always talk with a smile on your face. You'll automatically be more polite and professional. This will help in achieving your goal for the phone call, which can save you money. Story 60. Avoid all forms of debt as best as you can like the plague. No credit card debt unless you can pay off the full balance each month. Don't change cars like underwear. Find a reliable vehicle, new or used, and keep it till the doors fall off. Don't buy more house than you need. The advice on food, while good, is almost pointless. You won't get into financial trouble by going out to eat once in a while. You'll get into trouble by 1, house 2, car 3, credit card debt. Keep these 3 under control and you'll be good. Story 61. At most 1 streaming service at a time. Prepaid cell phone plan, Boost, Mint, etc. Don't drink alcohol. Drive a used car cheap enough to own without payments. Switch Caramio nurse renters insurance every 2 years. Story 62. I stopped using paper towels except in special circumstances and use plain cheap washcloths instead. Rewashing them takes up very space in the laundry, and I don't fill the garbage can with paper towels, which are unreasonably expensive. Story 63. I tell myself that nothing is worth the money we make. I say everything is a scam and it's not worth how hard I work. Also, I started an auto-saving and it just saved $150 every 2 weeks. Of course I take out of it when I really need to, but so far I have $500 in savings, which is the most I've ever had. Story 64. Cook. Don't eat out unless you're celebrating something. Good dental hygiene and stay fit. Lose weight. Quit all subscriptions like HBO, ESPN, etc. Most sporting events will have free repetition the next day or the next week. Recycle. Don't buy expensive clothes. They work the same as cheap ones. Stay with your same cell phone and TV and laptop for at least 2 or 3 years more. Story 65. If your grocery store offers it, do your shopping online and pick up at the store. I find that by seeing the total in front of me before checkout, I'm much less likely to make impulse purchases, and it saves me time each week. Story 66. Fasting helped me change my life. Started 5 years ago and never looked back. I feel at my mental and physical peak at about 30 hours fasted. When I need to get work done, I know I can just sip on some tea and not worry about food. Even when I bowl in highly competitive tournaments that last for most of the day, I just sip on some coffee and eat afterwards. I usually only eat once or twice a day. I've quit my sugar addiction. I don't buy fast food anymore, and generally eat for optimum nutrition over pleasure. I'm far less picky about foods because I appreciate more flavors, which meant more cooking at home, and has improved my health for obvious reasons. I look and feel much younger than I am too. Story 67. 1. Make a list of what you already have in the pantry before you go grocery shopping. It lets you plan with pre-existing ingredients or anything that didn't get used up the week before. It also keeps you from buying double. 2. Remove your card details from delivery apps, etc. It gives you time to consider if you really want to spend that money instead of one click and regret. 3. If you're going to eat out, keep track of which places give bigger portions that let you have leftovers for later. Story 68. Look out for expenses that are small because those tend to be hard to track and they can be deceiving. Once you track them, they can make up 10 to 30 of your expenses. Eating healthy is better than eating cheap in the long run because it not only will cost you money to go to the doctor, it will also eat up your time and productivity. You do not need a varied wardrobe. Find timeless pieces mostly. Most of the time when you're feeling snacky, find water and chug it. Sleep. Make sure you sleep properly because you will surely compensate bad sleep with other stuff like snacks and bigger meals. And as always, put a limit every month on your expenses. Do not trust yourself that you can restrain from buying unnecessary stuff. Story 69. Don't be above using your local library, even if you're not a big reader. Where I live, the library has a lot of free online streaming content, not to mention free online magazines and newspapers. Also, for something productive and free to do, pick a skill to learn and see how the library can hook you up with resources for that. My library has a maker's workshop that teaches laser cutting, Photoshop, 3D printing, etc. Story 70. Wife and I, 2 teenagers, use a spreadsheet every week to meticulously plan our next week's meals. This is an incredible money-saving and time-in-store saving ritual. Story 71. Using cash instead of a credit card or debit card. Leave those at home. It's psychologically harder to part with cash. This tip comes from a well-respected psychologist I've had for 18 years. Story 72. At the beginning of the month, I write on a calendar my bills and income. Maybe once a quarter I write out my total debts. It was painful at first, but knowledge is power, and knowing what I owed gave me the opportunity to make a plan to get rid of some of it. Another money saver is writing when subscriptions expire somewhere that I see it and canceling things I don't use. Story 73. If you buy bulk of anything, food or otherwise, make sure to use all of it. The savings means squat if you end up throwing out whatever you don't use. Story 74. 1. Read and understand the instructions before you do assembly. Operate something new. 2. Learn how things work so you can do minor repairs and fix your own instead of replacing or paying someone else to do it. I'm a 60-year-old woman. I removed the toilet and replaced the seal yesterday. Saved on calling out a plumber on the weekend. 3. Whether it's your body or possessions, regular preventative maintenance increases its longevity. Story 75. Always have a cooler in the car packed with water, protein powder already portioned in small Tupperware containers, ice cubes, bottles to mix up protein shakes, thick milkshake type straws, and a small container of snacks. This has saved me an incredible amount of time, money, and I am eating something healthy instead of grabbing garbage fast food or whatever is available. Plan your meals, save money, feel better. Happy New Year. Story 76. If you wear glasses, learn your pupillary distance measurement. This measurement, along with your prescription, allows you to buy glasses online for next to nothing. I used to spend $500 for a pair of glasses and hope they never break. Now I buy glasses for $25 and they're great. I currently have 6 pairs in rotation and get compliments all the time. Story 77. I almost feel guilty about this. Upon changing my life's poor choices and getting out of jail a measly 21 days, but long enough to think about things, I had about $15,000 in unpaid debt I was getting hounded about or had quit getting hounded about and just got turned over to the Big 3 credit corps. If you dispute the claim, the company has 30 days to respond or the claim gets dropped. I got really lucky and had $14,500 dropped, and one company responded for S500 claim. But the guy was such a dickhead, I contacted the originating company and told them I'd rather pay them double than give this guy a dime. They took $350 and cleared the debt. I have an 816 credit score now since I was given a chance. I took it and promised myself I wouldn't it up. Story 78. If on a budget, you can get a lot home decor on Shine, from kitchen cupboard handles to print photos. Buy your bulk shop in Lidl or Aldi. Try a week being vegetarian. Check your wardrobe and wear old clothes instead of buying new ones so quickly. Buy glass container with lids from IKEA. Can be used for lunch and cooking. I hardly use the plastic takeaway kind. Cook at home. Whatever your favorite dish is in the restaurant, someone will have made it in YT. Give it a go. Be creative with kids at home instead of days out. Loads of videos on YouTube. Story 79. Only make purchases one day of the week. I get groceries and place all Amazon orders on Monday. It helps cut down on random spending throughout the week, and I almost never eat out. Story 80. I have a rule where anything I need I always default search for it secondhand. I only buy new once I've exhausted secondhand possibilities and still definitely need it. New clothes, phone, furniture, sports watch, all secondhand. Close your Amazon account. Story 81. If you drive a lot, download the app Upside. It's an app that gives you cash back at participating gas stations and a few other places like McDonald's and I think Domino's. I'ma be honest, you don't save hand over fist, but I've gotten around 60 cash back a month for the last 3 months. The cashback rate on gas is usually between 3 and 8 cents a gallon, but can sometimes go up to 12 to 15 cents. And if you do it enough, you can even get one fill-up a month where it could get to 25 cents a gallon.